Most animals need food every single day to survive, but deep in the ocean, some creatures break that rule completely. Believe it or not, some sea animals can go months without eating anything at all. In fact, a few of them can even survive for years between proper meals. You might complain when lunch runs late. Well, because you're only human, and there's probably a restaurant close by. But certain sea creatures live where food rarely appears, so they adapt in extreme ways you can't imagine. That being said, let's take a trip into the bellies of the strangest sea creatures with shocking hunger control. Giant isopod. And what better sea creature to begin with than the giant isopod? If you've never seen it before, let me tell you straight up that this guy looks like a massive armored pill bug, and honestly, it kind of is. It belongs to a group of crustaceans related to shrimp and crabs, and they live more than 2,000 feet below the surface. Down there, though, sunlight never shows up and snacks rarely float by. So instead of chasing food, the isopod simply waits it out. And when I say wait, it's not like when you order a pizza and wait for it to reach your doorstep. I'm talking about waiting indefinitely, not knowing when a meal will show up. While waiting, the giant isopod lowers its metabolism and burns energy at a painfully slow rate. Scientists once kept a captive giant isopod alive without food for over 4 years, and it survived. That is longer than many college degrees, by the way. In the wild, they rely on marine snow and sinking carcasses. When a whale falls to the seafloor, giant isopods gather quickly. They gorge themselves for hours, stuffing their expandable bodies completely full. Then they waddle away and return to doing almost nothing. Their tough outer shell protects them, while they conserve strength. They move slowly, breathe slowly, and basically treat life like a waiting game. But trust me, this patient bottom dweller isn't the only one who can wait endlessly between meals. Greenland shark. The Greenland shark moves so slowly, you might think it is bored with life. It glides through freezing Arctic waters that would terrify most animals, and can live for more than 200 years. Some researchers even estimate certain individuals approach 400 years old. It grows at a snail-like pace, sometimes less than a centimeter yearly. That slow growth connects directly to its slow metabolism. Its body burns energy at a very low rate, and because of that, it does not need frequent meals. It feeds on fish, squid, and sometimes seals. It also scavenges carcasses that sink into cold northern waters. Researchers believe it can survive months between solid meals. The freezing temperatures help preserve energy inside its massive body. It even carries a natural chemical that prevents its tissues from freezing. This shark does not rush anything, including dinner plans, and staying months without food proves just that. But deep below the Arctic, there's another hunter patiently waiting for its next bite. Deep-sea anglerfish. The deep-sea anglerfish looks like something from a nightmare cartoon. It carries a glowing lure that dangles above its sharp teeth. This light comes from bacteria living inside a special organ. In total darkness, that tiny glow becomes an irresistible invitation. Small fish swim closer, thinking they found an easy meal. Instead, they become meals in seconds. The anglerfish opens its enormous mouth and creates sudden suction. It swallows prey whole, even if the prey looks almost too big. This is because its stomach stretches like a flexible grocery bag. Now, food hardly appears in the deep sea, so patience becomes essential. An anglerfish may wait weeks before something bites the bait, and when it finally eats, that single meal can last a long time. Its body stores energy efficiently and slows down between hunts. Some species even have tiny males that attach permanently to females. Talk about commitment issues solved forever. But crawling across the ocean floor, another giant waits calmly for scraps. Japanese spider crab. The Japanese spider crab looks like it escaped from a science fiction movie. It has legs that can stretch over 12 feet across. That makes it the largest crab by leg span on Earth. It lives deep in Pacific waters near Japan. Unfortunately, food does not appear on a regular schedule down there. So this crab eats almost anything it finds. It scavenges dead fish, shellfish, and sinking organic remains. Sometimes it even feeds on plant material drifting downward. After a large meal, it can survive for months without eating again. Its slow movements help reduce energy use dramatically. So instead of sprinting around, it strolls like it has nowhere important to be. Its hard shell protects it while it waits for opportunity. And scientists note that its metabolism remains steady and efficient in cold water. That efficiency allows long gaps between serious meals. However, if you think that is impressive, wait until you hear about the soft-bodied survivor next. Sea cucumber. Sea cucumbers look harmless, almost like living vacuum cleaners with wrinkles. Yet these simple creatures master survival in harsh ocean zones. Many species live deep where food barely exists, so they feed by sucking up sediment from the seafloor. Inside that sediment, they digest tiny organic particles and bacteria. When food becomes scarce, they slow their internal processes. Their metabolism drops, and they conserve every bit of stored energy. Some sea cucumbers can endure long fasting periods without obvious stress. They even recycle nutrients from their own tissues when necessary. Certain species take things further and eject internal organs to escape predators. Later, they regrow those organs completely from scratch. That ability saves energy compared to constant fighting or fleeing. They also play a key role in recycling nutrients across the ocean floor. By processing sediment, they keep ecosystems balanced and healthy. So while they may look squishy and strange, they handle hunger like professionals. And now we move from soft and slow to creatures surviving brutal polar winters. Antarctic krill. Antarctic krill may look tiny, but they are unbelievably tough. These shrimp-like creatures form massive swarms in freezing waters, and they depend heavily on microscopic algae growing beneath sea ice. During summer, sunlight fuels algae growth, and so the krill can eat happily. However, winter in Antarctica brings months of darkness and ice. Algae levels crash, and food becomes painfully scarce. So krill switch into survival mode without any dramatic complaints. They slow their metabolism and reduce their daily energy use. Some species actually shrink their own body size. Yes, they temporarily reverse growth to conserve precious resources. Their bodies absorb stored fat and recycle internal nutrients. They also rely on leftover algae trapped inside sea ice. Scientists have observed krill surviving several months with minimal feeding. But once sunlight returns, algae blooms explode back into action. Krill quickly resumes feeding and regains lost body mass. They grow back as if winter never happened. That seasonal shrinking trick keeps entire ecosystems alive. After all, whales, seals, and penguins depend on krill. But if that winter survival sounds impressive, wait until you hear about a mother who skipped dinner for years. Deep sea octopus. Deep sea octopus mothers take parenting to unbelievable extremes. One species became famous for guarding eggs over 4 years. She attached her eggs to a rocky ledge underwater. Then she simply stayed there and protected them. During that entire period, she did not hunt. She did not chase crabs or grab passing shrimp. Instead, she relied completely on stored body energy. Scientists observed her growing thinner and weaker over time. Her skin lost color and her movements slowed dramatically. Still, she refused to abandon her eggs. Cold, deep sea temperatures slowed embryo development significantly. That meant the eggs required years to hatch. The mother gently cleaned them and waved water across them. She defended them from predators despite her weakness. But when the young finally hatched, she had nothing left. Her body gave out soon after their release. It sounds tragic, but it ensures strong offspring survival. In deep waters, patience often replaces speed and strength. Yet even this extreme fast feels short compared to ocean giants. Sperm whale. Sperm whales dive deeper than most other whales on Earth. They can plunge more than 2,000 meters underwater. Down there, sunlight disappears and temperatures drop sharply. Their main target is large deep-sea squid. But these hunts require long dives lasting over an hour, and sometimes they return to the surface empty-mouthed. That means long gaps between successful meals. Fortunately, sperm whales carry thick layers of blubber. That blubber stores massive amounts of usable energy, and when food runs scarce, they burn those fat reserves. Adult males especially travel through food-poor regions. They may roam vast ocean areas searching for prey, and weeks can pass between productive hunting streaks. Still, their slow, powerful swimming conserves energy efficiently. They also use echolocation to locate squid precisely. Those loud clicks help them avoid wasted effort. Even so, these whales still feed more regularly than smaller survivors, because some reef invaders can wait months without blinking. Lionfish. Lionfish look like they belong in a fashion show. They display dramatic fins and bold stripes confidently. However, beneath that beauty hides a ruthless predator. Lionfish swallow small fish and crustaceans whole. They expand their stomachs to hold surprisingly large meals. On coral reefs, they often eat nearly anything moving. Yet when prey numbers drop, they stay calm. Lionfish can survive for months without another bite. They slow their metabolism and conserve stored energy. This ability helps them spread across new territories. Invasive populations in the Atlantic have proven this. Even when divers remove many individuals, they rebound quickly. Few native predators challenge them in these regions. Their venomous spines discourage curious hunters effectively. And because they endure long fasts, they outlast competition easily. That makes them especially hard to control. But as impressive as that sounds, there's one particular creature that waits even longer. Olm-like cave amphipods. Deep inside underwater caves, tiny amphipods live quietly. These crustaceans inhabit places where sunlight never reaches. So their world consists of cold water, bare rock, and total darkness. Food arrives only when organic debris drifts inside. And guess what? That only happens just a few times each year. So these amphipods mastered extreme energy conservation. Researchers discovered some species surviving years without meals. They reduce movement almost to a complete standstill. Their metabolism slows to match scarce resource levels. They grow slowly and reproduce cautiously. Without light, they often lose pigmentation and even eyesight. They simply rely on touch and chemical signals instead. This is because every calorie matters in their harsh environment. When rare nutrients appear, they feed efficiently. Then they return to long periods of waiting. No drama, no complaints, just quiet endurance. Because compared to them, skipping lunch feels almost theatrical. That being said, the ocean hides countless survival experts like these who remind you that patience sometimes means staying alive.